Okay, yesterday we focused on the process of inversion and reversal, this divine process, I should say, of inversion and reversal. And we focused on three Hebrew letters, Nun, Gimel, Ayin, and the words nigger and nigah. And we looked at these things in terms of the meaning of Nun, Gimel, and Ayin, which means a plague, particularly that of leprosy. And that connected us right into the biological flaw, Nasi, that was produced by the process of emanation, and a flawed process of emanation that produced not only a biological flaw, bodily, which shows up in the lack of melanin in biological beings and humans, but also creates a flawed environment. And we're talking about a flawed environment comprehensively, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, physically, materially, that everything in the so-called created universe was created with this flaw. And again, it is reflected rather in us in terms of the being melanin recessive, and it is related to, again, this word nega. And yesterday we connected through an etymological journey, connected this word nega to the word nigger, and later to the word nigga. And we said that although during our fall, the positive meaning of this word nega or nigga was lost and reversed and inverted, that it retains its power relative to our true identity and our divine power. The word, when you reverse the words, the letters Nun, Gimel, Ayin to Ayin, Gimel, Nun, you get the word Aneg or Oneg, which means delight. So you go from plague to delight, and from delight to plague. And this is the inversion process, the reversal, divine reversal that we all signed up to when we chose to incarnate, when we chose to emanate from the invisible, immaterial realms, from the non-physical or metaphysical realms into the physical and material realms. We took on this flawed nature. We literally, Nasi, became the plague, the embodiment of the plague. And we were also the healers of the plague. All right? So we looked at Nun, Gimel, Ayin, and we're going to continue this search in order to expand our understanding, expand our awareness relative to our true organic holistic identity.
Eitai, question.
Yes.
When you reverse it, you get what? You get iron what?
You get Ayin, Nun Gimel.
Okay.
And that is
Look like Egan.
that
Egan. Yep.
Ayin Nun Gimel. When you go 180 degrees, 180 degrees with it, you get the word oneg. You get the word oneg, which means delight. Same three letters.
Oh, nay.
Oh, so
You get
so it's
you
not
get
back.
noon gimel iron, then you get iron gimel noon.
Yeah, you get Ayin Nun Gimel. It is
Iron noon
yeah,
gimel. Oh, nay.
oneg, which means delight.
Oh, neg.
Right.
Oh, okay,
Oneg,
got you. Oh, neg, right.
yes, which means
Okay, okay.
and yeah, this is a permutation. This is um, a type of inversion and reversal. We're going to see it's not a direct reversal, linear reversal, but it is a permutation. And we're going to see specifically what I'm talking about because this is our science. This is our science. We mix up words and letters.
It's like a wraparound.
Correct. It's
Yeah.
like pulling.
It's a wraparound because if you take it and pull it, if you had like it was, material, you take it and you connect the iron to the noon. You know what I'm saying? Like a circle.
It's like a
That's what I'm
serpent with his tail in his mouth.
saying. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, and that permeates cultures as a symbol. So we're going to take a look at this. And what we're doing by looking at how this was deconstructed, how it was our divinity was deconstructed, and our divine identity and our divine essence was deconstructed, we're going to look to reconstruct it. And not just as a mental process, but as an energetic process. It's all going to begin and end mentally in the head. In the head. That is how you're going to uh, activate this power through proper perception and proper thought. And we have to reverse everything that this flawed environment has taught us, primarily through uh, our indoctrination and our programming in the very early stages within the compulsory educational system, and later our religious indoctrination through these various religious systems. And all of them did it. All of them. I don't care which one you name. All of them participated in the process. It might have looked different. It might have sounded different. It might have used different terms and definitions, but it was the same indoctrination. It was the same program that was running. It was an inverted program. So we're going to take, again, another look at the inversion reversal of the divine word in the descent. We're going to this is going to lead us uh, into some heights that we have not reached before. The inversion reversal of the divine word in the descent. So we're talking about word, we're talking about language. Now, see, when we talk about the word,
Yeah,
we're talking about language. And again,
absolutely.
I don't want us to just focus on words and letters because these things, the inversion of the language and of the divine word, affected everything. We are the divine word. So our descent into the material and the physical realms affected everything. We are that divine word. So when we read John 1, 1 through 14, you have to put yourself mentally in that scripture verse. You must think of yourself. Imagine yourself. Imagine that verse speaking of you coming from the divine, coming in divine and entering into the flawed human existence. All right? You are that word. We are that word that became what? Flesh. Is everyone with me?
Yes, I am.
So now see, the divine word as we find it in this New Testament citing, this New Testament uh, scripture verse, it became the Logos. All right?
Absolutely. Became the logos.
It became the Logos, or human logic, human thought, human perception. So the
That's right.
version or the reversal of you as the divine word, the divine language in the outside of the flesh, when you entered into the flesh, you became the exalted logos or human logic. You became the embodiment of that in the flesh. And the abasement took place in the divine mental faculties. Your divine essence or being was abased. And as you became more human, human thought, human language, human perception, etc., and so on, became exalted. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the inversion, reversal of the divine word language in the descent, the exaltation of the logos, human logic, human reasoning, human thought, and the abasement of all of your divine mental faculties, the denigration of all of those. So we read John, the first chapter. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was the life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. We are in the world was made by us, but the world doesn't know us. We don't even know ourselves. This is why it's necessary.
That's what I was just going to say. We don't even know ourselves,
We
right?
don't even know ourselves to the extent that it means anything. We would read Psalm 82 all day long. You see, we are God. And then we were, right after that, we will proceed. We would even translate it as humans. And we would say, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a child of God, I'm a son of God, but never say that I'm the creator,
Yeah.
because human thoughts and a human perception dominates us.
We don't know it yet.
Right. We are in the world. We made this world. Now, see, we made a flawed world by skipping a primary step in the four-phase emanation process.
Right.
And even the world that we made doesn't know us. We don't even know ourselves.
That's it.
We come unto our own, and our own don't receive us. Mr. Rod, this is why the brother.
That's the only way that makes sense.
Right. This is why the
That's
brother.
the only way. That's the
Right.
only way this makes sense.
Right.
Perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Now, Mr. Rod, this is why when you talk to the brothers, they say that, you know, they can't really talk about this thing publicly.
Right.
Because nobody's going to receive it. But as many as received us, to them we give power to become what? Sons of God. Even to them that believe in His name, which were born, now see, not of blood, nor the will of flesh, nor the will of man, but of God, of divinity that emanates down into the physical realm. And the word made flesh, that's us, and dwelt among us. And we all beheld the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. The only begotten, this is talking about melanin. You cannot separate that. That is going to underlie everything that we talk about. And they've woven this story. They are master weavers, our ancestors, and us even. We are master weavers of this word. And we, just as we wove it, Nasi, in its intricacy, we can unweave it and unwind it to find our way back. And this is what we're doing. When it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, in choosing to use the Greek language, Nasi, they use the word logos.
Right.
To define the word. And with the use of that word, they showed us right off the bat this denigration, this abasement of the divine word and how it would take place. Logos, again, is of a speech or language. It is referring to speech or a language, a word uttered by a living voice, which what? Embodies a conception or idea. It is something said. It is something said, including the thought behind what you say.
Yeah.
So we can talk about.
It just.
Go ahead, Nasi. Go right ahead.
I was just going to say, early on, I never will forget, there was a season when in the community, the kingdom, that's all was talk about, the logos. And, just to think back, there is no way anyone in that community could see the logos outside of anything that is what? It's the opposite of the Old Testament.
That's correct.
It is not connected to the Old Testament. Since it's not connected to the Old Testament, you cannot believe it. It has not. It's an oppositional something to what the kingdom was trying to do.
That's
because
correct.
The kingdom was spirit, and spirit and logos didn't hook up. I mean, I got the book to prove that.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thinking the same thing that we were taught about. It was always like it was a negative thing.
Yes.
Now we went to the school of the prophets. That's what we learned.
Right.
Abba, remember just the other day we had the conversation, and I had was telling you that I've always had this vision of what it was before the sun even came into play.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, right.
Us existing without speaking.
Yes.
It's pretty much the planet was dark, but through our brains, we illuminated it.
Absolutely, brother. Through our mental
Yeah, we talked about this.
right. Through our mental faculty. This is exactly what it is, brother.
Yeah, wow.
There's a distinction, there's a difference. There's a difference between divine mental faculty, which is, Nasi, right brain thinking, right brain perception, and left brain, which is reasoning, which refers
Right.
to logic or the logos. The logos
Right.
represents human thinking and perception. And it is our means. It is our means, absent our divinity, for navigating the false simulated matrix, navigating within the illusion. We must use logic. We must use reasoning. We must use human thought. But the shift is coming back. This is what dominated. This is what dominated. Logos is how the ego thinks. It reasons from the standpoint or from the perception or from the vantage point of being material, of being physical, of being human. So logos represents human thought, human perception, human expression. All right?
Right.
You're going to like this, Nasi. The root word or the primary verb is the word Lego. Lego. Now, we've never talked about this.
That's the game that the children play with all the time.
That's the game that
in my class, Legos. I don't know.
with. And they do what?
Building with it.
They build with it.
Yes.
They build with it. And when you reverse it, it is the word ogle. It is the word ogle. And ogle, Nasi, is inductive reasoning. Only what you can see and perceive with the senses.
Inductive reasoning.
That's right.
Wow. That shows up clearly now why they did that. They went from what they call deductive reason to inductive. Wow.
That's correct. So this is this was the ancestors' way in this little narrative about the word to show us exactly what took place, exactly what they did in order to lock us within the realms of the physical, to lock us into the false simulated matrix.
Wow.
So Lego is a primary verb. It means to lay forth or to lay down. To lay forth, you're going to love this, Nasi, or to lay down. Figuratively relate in words usually of systematic or a preset discourse.
Wow.
That's a program, y'all. That's a program.
Yeah.
Telling us that they laid down like Lego blocks, that they laid down the program. And are Legos flexible or are they inflexible? It's a rigid program, right?
Right.
Lego in the New Testament, only the present imperfect active and present passive active are used. Third person plural imperfect. In John 11:56, it is at the beginning, or just like in the beginning. It's talking about this program, this preset program. Now, see, that was binary. That was binary.
Yeah.
Heaven and earth, up and down. In the beginning was heaven and earth. The duality being what? Set in place, rigidly in place.
Wow. Wow.
Now, let's go back a little further relative to this word Lego. In its earliest use in Homer, the word Lego meaning to lay, to cause to lie down, to put to sleep. To put to sleep.
Wow. Wow. Mm, mm, mm.
So the logos in the ancient Greek concept was reason. And it then reason.
Was what?
Reason.
Yeah.
As the controlling principle of the universe, not the cosmos.
Right.
Not the cosmos where we come from, but the universe is a version, like Nasik said, of the cosmos.
Yeah.
A limited version.
Right. Mm, mm, mm.
Reason refers to the intellectual faculty that adopts actions to ends. Actions to ends. It adopts you, or it causes you to adopt or adapt or be conformed to prearranged ends, a prearranged answer, a prearranged destiny. And
Sega, how did you say that first? The intellectual something?
the intellectual faculty that
Faculty. Okay.
adopts actions to ends. So the ends, Nasik, are already what? Laid forth.
Yeah, predetermined.
Laid
Right.
down.
Right.
And you mentally, your thoughts adapt or adopt to that, and your actions and your behavior. Also, a statement in an argument, a statement of explanation or justification. From the Anglo French raison, a course. It's a course that's already laid out. It's a subject that's already been defined and laid out for you. It's a language that's prearranged, pre-adapted to what? The simulated matrix. It's a speech, it's thoughts, it's opinions that adapt themselves to that, to think in a logical manner. The logos, and we've used this before, is the primordial spirit of reason. Now that's in Greek. Now I want you all to write a word down. It says it is a concept promoted by the Stoics. By the Stoics.
Right.
Write the word Stoic down. Stoic. Now watch this, Nasi.
Yeah.
The Stoics perceived the logos as the mind of Jupiter. Write that down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right.
Now this is in the kingdom. They changed it in the kingdom, and they said the mind of God or the Yah mind. But I'm going to
That's what they did.
It's just the mind of Jupiter. It's just the mind of Jupiter. And Nasik began to deconstruct and decompose that idea of mind and this whole concept of the mind of Jupiter / the mind of Yah when he began to attack and destroy the the entire concept of a mind.
Yes, right. Boy.
So now, Seek, you had to go.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. It's clear.
Right.
I had
Remember?
to go. It's clear.
We talked. You had to go.
Now see, this is from the Dictionary of Gods and Goddesses, page 176. If someone wants to look it up.
Yeah, I know. I got the book.
Absolutely, I got it
Yeah.
too. So now see,
these
Right.
gods and goddesses.
yes, it's called the Dictionary of Gods and Goddesses, page 176.
All right.
Now, early on, Nasik began to attack this concept of mind, began to deconstruct it, and began to destroy it. So, Nasik, that undermined this whole mind of Yah and the Yah mind and the God mind concept.
Hey, that's a bad word to say about it. Ain't no mind.
That's
You
correct.
said that's serious business. That's
Right.
exactly why I'm sitting on the side right now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Nasik.
We got you.
Wow.
So write down the
Woo.
word stoic, write down the mind of Jupiter, and highlight the word Jupiter, because we're going to break this down. And I'm going to prove to you that when you say the mind of Yah, the Yah mind, you're just saying Jupiter. You're just saying Jupiter. It's the same concept.
That's my astrological planet. So I'm told.
Here we go. Jupiter is the supreme deity of the ancient Romans. Write the word Roman down. Roman.
Oh. So we're gonna go to Romans what?
We're not gonna go. We're gonna stay right there with that word, and we're gonna look
Okay.
how they reverse the word in the popular culture. How our ancestors anticipated this teaching. They laid this thing out. I'm just showing you what they showed me. From the Latin, the different Latin versions of Jupiter, and it says Jove, which is Jehovah. Jove is Jehovah, or Yud-He-Vav-He, God of the sky, and chief of the gods. So write down sky. Romans, Namur, and sky. S-K-I. Or I'm sorry, S-K-Y. The chief of the gods, and later it was Jupiter or Jupiter, God the Father. Here we go.
Wow.
The Logos is credited with appealing to the hearer's sense of logic. It's designed to appeal to your humanness, not your divinity. It is a language that talks to you as a human, not as a divine being. It is a thought that is human. It's designed to appeal to the hearer's sense of logic, with the definition of logic being concerned with a thing as it is known empirically, as it is known through the physical senses only. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, in popular culture, there was one character on television that embodied logic.
Right.
And that was in the Star Trek series, Star People.
Oh boy. Spock.
Spock, Mr. Spock.
There he is. Mr. Spock. That is not logical.
Spock It dictates.
Oh boy. Why
Now,
was I attracted?
y'all think, see, they look at these white people and they say, well, look at the Euro Gentiles created this. No, they didn't. This is our knowledge.
No,
This is the
no. It's
knowledge that
impossible.
our ancestors laid down.
Yeah, have to be.
Now I'm going to show you all now. Dr. Spock, Mr. Spock was very stoic, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Pain all the time. Never cracked a smile, did he?
Stoic meaning a person who represses feelings or endures patiently, repressing the feelings. Stoical means indifferent to pleasure or pain. And the Dr. McCoy, now see, the chief science officer on Star Trek, always used to get on Spock. Damn it, Spock.
We know why now.
Right. Damn it, Spock. Don't you feel anything? Aren't you human?
Wow.
These two characters were actually one character representing your humanity, representing your humanity, represented your divinity trapped in the physical. Your divinity trapped in the physical, Nasi, controlled by human logic and reasoning.
Yes.
They put this together brilliantly. Y'all follow me. Y'all not gonna believe this.
You're saying that Doc and Spock represented our human divinity.
They represented. I'm gonna say it again. They represented
both
our divinity.
That's what I'm saying. Both human / divinity.
No. Listen, you got to get this correct now. They represented our divinity, trapped in humanity, trapped in the physical, trapped in the material, controlled by logic, ruled by logic, ruled by human thinking and human perception.
Right.
trapped. Okay.
Trapped. Now I'm going to show you what they did. Our ancestors left us a clue. He left us many clues. Years after Star Trek became a cult favorite, Leonard Nimoy, who is a Jew, learned that the ritual he was forbidden to observe invoked Shekinah, the feminine manifestation of God. Walk with me, y'all. This is the real character. This is the real person, Nasi.
Yeah.
The ritual he played was so powerful and so powerfully affected his mind that it affected him spiritually. I'm going to show y'all what our ancestors, how they controlled this man. How they controlled this man, how they overshadowed him. Years after Star Trek became a cult favorite, Leonard Nimoy learned that the ritual he was forbidden to observe when he was younger, growing up as a Jew, invoked Shekinah, the feminine manifestation of God. That is the hidden divinity. That is the hidden creator, family. The hidden creator. The V-shaped hand gesture represents the Hebrew character Sheen, the first letter of Shekinah's name. The brother, it was Yadiel. that was talking about how we communicated, that we didn't communicate with the vocal cords, that we didn't communicate with a spoken language. We made hand signals before we did anything, before we made any sounds, now see. And the Hebrew alphabet are all hand signals. It is all sign language. And you see in the devil card that he has his hand raised and is making the same symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the two humans chained up.
Chained up.
Male and female principals.
Chained up.
And locked down.
Wow.
And I have the card reversed as well, because this is the process, family. I'm showing you the process of inversion and reversal.
Yeah.
It took all of this to keep you all locked down in the human and physical form, to keep you from ascending, Nasi, before time, before this process was completed. Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, deliberately intended for Spock to have the archetypal devil features: the pointy ears, the eyebrows. Then they even put him with a goatee on. He deliberately intended for Spock, and it wasn't Gene Roddenberry, it was our ancestors, leaving us a clue on how to unravel all of this. Deliberately intended for Spock to have archetypal devil features. The logos as Mahomet, that is Muhammad, Mahomet Baphomet, provokes the woman from the darkness. Y'all think our ancestors were playing with something that was not effective when they did this. This affected this man's life, family.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to show you. What meaneth this, son of light? Now they put this on the website. They put this question. What meaneth this, son of light? Meaning star child.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean, star child? George Clinton gave that to us. We headed there. He called us star child in his mythology. What meaneth this, son of light? This is the realm of mysticism or magic, and is inherently highly illogical. It's an inversion, Nasi. It's an inversion, family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be logical. It was supposed to be illogical, non-logical, unreasonable, irrational, or non.
Yeah. Right.
That is, listen, anti-word, anti-logos, anti-Jesus, or anti-Christ. Take it however you want to take it. Or anti-human. More specifically, it's not anti-Christ. It's anti-human, anti-Jesus. The Christ aspect of Jesus represented the divinity.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, I told you to write the word. I told you to write the word Roman down, right?
You're right.
They created another character in the comic books called Prince Namor, the Submariner. Doesn't he look like Spock?
Mm-hmm.
Don't he look exactly like Spock?
Absolutely.
And Spock was deliberately intended to be shown with the features of the archetypical devil. And we see the devil card. with humanity trapped down. And we see right here the representation of how we all view the red devil, right? With the horns, with the mustache and the goatee, and with the trident, with the pitchfork, the trident. Do you see Namor?
Yep.
Do you see Namor with the trident?
Okay.
Holding the trident.
Made little Halloween costumes look like that with the red suit, pitchfork and all. Yeah.
Right.
When you reverse.
Oh Lord. Oh, what an awakening.
Wow.
Watch this. I'm gonna show you how brilliant our ancestors are and how brilliant we are. When you reverse, now see, the word Roman, you get the word Namor.
That's Namor. Yep.
Get the word Namor.
That's right.
Prince Namor, the submariner. What means this? What meaneth this, sons of light, star children? He was the ruler of the sea, of the underworld, the abyss, or the bottomless pit. Who's represented here?
Yeah. Wow.
That's us. Namor, when you use the sigil process and remove the vowels, now see, you get NMR, like we got NGR yesterday.
Right.
Corresponding
Noon, mem,
to
resh.
noon, which means fish, mem, which means water or waters, and resh, which means head, ruler, or leader.
Ooh.
Prince
Hold
Namor,
that right there.
the prince of the underworld, the angel of the bottomless pit, the king of the abyss, the lord of the abyss, the lord of the underworld, the prince of darkness. They got many titles for us.
Wow. Wow.
In our divinity. Now he's doing the hand signal here with the three-pronged trident, or that corresponds to the letter Sheen. Watch this, y'all. They wove this into everything. They were master weavers of spells. And I'm going to show you how this spell that Leonard Nimoy, now see, just playing this role, it affected his life.
What's his name? Leonard what?
Leonard
Nimoy.
That played.
Spell that last name.
Nimoy.
Nimoy.
What did you call that thing again that I know is a pitchfork? A trident?
Trident. It's called a trident. TRID.
Like the gum they used to have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The letter Sheen, Shekinah, Shakti, Shiva, Sheth, or Set, or Shaitan, Satan. Satan.
Yep.
All right. Shakti means power, ability, strength, might, effort, energy, capability. Is Misura the primordial cosmic energy? Ain't that what you came for today?
I needed primordial.
It's the female aspect of that energy.
Oh.
And represents the dynamic forces that are thought to move through the entire universe. We don't think that they move, that it moves. We know that it moves. Shakti is the concept or personification of divine feminine creative power. So if we connect this to Mr. Spock and to the male devil and to the prince, why don't they have the female represent? Because we said the woman is hiding in the darkness. That this image is supposed to provoke the woman to come out of the darkness. To provoke.
Cause that energy to rise.
That to cause that Kundalini energy, that feminine manifestation of divinity to rise in all of us. But we have to uncover her because she's been concealed. Sometimes referred to as the Great Divine Mother. The Great Divine Mother. In the New Testament, what was the Great Divine Mother's name? In the New Testament.
You talking Mary?
Mary.
You talking Mary? Mary. Mary.
The submariner. The submariner. The hidden sub means under. The hidden
M-A-R-I.
The hidden Mary. The hidden Mary. Or the hidden Mariam. Are you all with me?
Okay.
They was brilliant, Nasik.
Yeah, this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
As a mother, I'm gonna connect this with the niggas. I'm gonna connect this with niggas now, real quick. It don't get far from that. Melanin underlies everything, and especially our divine essence, our divine indigenous, ancient identity. Nagar. As mother, she is known as Adi Shakti, Adi Parashakti. On the earthly plane, listen, this is important to us. Shakti most actively manifests through female embodiment and creativity and fertility. Though it is also present in males in its potential. In its potential, rather, unmanifest form. But during the inversion, there was no manifestation, no representation, no symbolizing, no imagery of the divine feminine. It became masculine, now see, under the patriarchy and under the patriarchy.
Yeah.
And it became hidden. And it became likewise, Yadiel, hidden in us as an energetic principle, family that was asleep, that was caused to sleep. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shakti is both responsible for creation and the agent of all change. That is why Kundalini energy is feminine. That is the Kundalini energy, that serpent energy is the energy, the energetic principle of melanin, of dark energy. It is represented, family, by the beast from the sea, Leviathan. Namor is Leviathan, the Levitical priesthood under Aaron. Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all with me? You're seeing
Okay.
you're seeing him with the shevet, with his rod, with his staff. And the three prongs represent the sword for fighting and defending yourself. It's an amalgamation of this. The rod that budded, which represents your inert, innate, divine power, and the scepter, your possession of divine power and rulership. Does it make sense? Have we talked about it?
Yeah.
Cain.
Yeah.
Shakti is cosmic existence. That's what we, that's how we existed before any of this, family. Shakti is cosmic existence as well as liberation. Liberation from what? I'm going to ask the question. Liberation from what?
Human thought.
Human thought. And what does that liberate us from?
Body's impedance.
Huh?
Duality.
Duality and the false.
Frees us from using. Yeah.
And the
It
false
empowers us. Right.
And the false simulated matrix. You all got it. Liberation.
False simulated.
Absolutely. Its most significant form, brother, being the Kundalini Shakti, a mysterious psycho-spiritual force. Psycho-spiritual. In Shaktiism, Shakti is worshipped, we should say venerated, as the supreme aspect of being, the supreme existence. Shakti embodies the active feminine energy of Shiva, which is the male counterpart, and is synonymously identified with Tripura Sundara or Parvati. Now, see, they're brilliant.
Yeah, Eitai.
They're brilliant.
That ain't even the word.
Shakti was feminine and Shiva or S-H-E-B-A or V-A?
S-H-I-V-A. Or you can say S-H-E-V-A. Or you can say Sheva. Remember, we talked about Shiva.
V like Va. Sheva.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being
that's Vav.
With 7. Completion. Shiva. Shevet. Shavua. Shavuot.
Cain. All those.
Shabbat. All of this is entangled. It's all woven in there. Now, see, when you can look at this thing from a holistic perspective and with holistic perception, holistic discernment, and holistic thought. Now I'm going to show you all, when I was searching for it, for the understanding of this, I was Googling it. This came up. And it's on a site called The Mask of God. The Mask of God. This was posted, family, on March 3rd of 2015. And it was entitled Spock's Brain. And this is a book of photography, or a volume of photographies by Leonard Nimoy called Shekinah. Photographs by Leonard Nimoy. This is Spock.
Right.
And it says, years after Star Trek became a cult favorite, Nimoy learned that the ritual he was forbidden to observe invoked Shekinah, the feminine manifestation of God. The V-shaped hand gesture represents the Hebrew character Sheen, the first letter of Shekinah's name. These are his photographs that he did representing the divine feminine, Shekinah. So the question was asked, why do they cover their eyes in the Judaic ritual, in Judaism? So why do we cover our eyes? About 8 or 9 years ago, our rabbi explained to me that the belief is that during the benediction, a benediction is saying good words. It's casting a spell, right? That means good words, saying good words. The Shekinah comes into the sanctuary to bless the congregation, and the sight of the Shekinah would be dangerous because of the awesome light of God. Now, isn't that exactly what they say about the male God, that you can't look upon him and live, right?
Right.
She radiates, because the awesome light she radiates could be damaging or fatal to a human. So you protect yourself by covering your eyes. This is the veil that is over the eyes of the people. They can't see it no way. But they understand, they cover their eyes because they know a veil is there that they can't see into the spiritual world. You know why? They don't have their eyes are not melanated, and they don't have the they don't have the ability on the inward part nor on the outward part to absorb that magnitude of light. Melanin absorbs the full spectrum of energy, both light and sound vibration. Very important. And when I heard that story, it motivated me to begin to try to do a photographic essay on the subject. I began to study it, read about it, ask questions about it, research it, and do some work with it. All from playing this role, family, for those many years. Our ancestors put some power behind that. There are still, that thing has been off the air for decades, and there are still Trekkies. It was one of the most popular television shows. It had a cult following because it was so many spiritual and energetic truths that were put forth on that show. So many of them that related to this ancient knowledge. And they took it and put it in outer space. But you know who else did that? Took our story and put it into outer space? George Clinton.
Religiosity.
And he did it in a much more powerful manner. And George Clinton is still making music from the 50s until now. And his music was the soundtrack of the hip hop music. They sampled George Clinton and James Brown, the funk more than anyone.
Yep.
It motivated me to study. The first thing I did was to take the symbol of Sheen, that's a sigil, and introduce it into some of the work that I already had shot of the female figure. And there it is, the site of Shekinah. Leonard Nimoy photographed Shekinah with the Hebrew letter Sheen. What about the veils of the woman in your photo that your photographs wear? He don't know about this. We getting ready to show you, and show you what our ancestors did. The word veil to me means mystery. He's right about that. Something hidden, something concealed. It means something not quite visible. It means something between the viewer and the object that can be sometimes seen through. sometimes removed, sometimes obscured. It has to do with the mystery of the Shekinah. Have people said your photos are too sexual? My approach to the subject, to this project for the last 8 years is totally reverential. I feel deeply about my Judaism. I have not invented sexuality in Judaism. He's right about that. It has been there for centuries. There's a wonderful Kabbalistic mythological story that tells us that Moses, in the latter years of his life, lived apart from his wife in order to be pure in case the Shekinah should come to him. And that, in fact, she did. And they lived together as husband and wife until he died. And that when he died, it was a kiss from her lips to his that released his soul to heaven. And she then bore him unto her wings to his final burial place. That's safe under the wings of God. Y'all have heard that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, very
Sometimes they say arms, but turn to
well,
human.
no, they say, now I want to be specific. It says wings. It says,
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying sometimes people
right.
missay it instead of wings.
I
They
want to
say
say, under his
arms.
wings do I trust. Under his wing. We're gonna decode that later. I want to stick with that.
Mm.
So this is Leonard Nimoy. Spock. Look, this is where I got all the images. And they're connecting him to the logos. There she go. That was the divine feminine. That was the divine feminine right there, standing next to Barack Obama, making the sheen. She was the one, Uhura, on the mothership. That was the divine feminine on there. And look who they connected all this to.
Oh, wow.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lapita. Oh, wow. This is, ooh.
Now see, of Black Panther fame. That's
Wow.
Black Panther's woman.
Right.
Man, our ancestors are doing
Well,
a
she
work,
knows.
y'all. They doing a work. Lupita
Yes.
Nyong'o.
Change shows.
Listen to
From
this.
12. Yeah.
Listen. Now, remember, divinity is our divine essence. And femininity is the primary principle of our divine essence. Are you all with me?
King.
All right.
This is why they use an Essence magazine. There is no shame in Black beauty. That's what she said. Lupita Nyong'o attends the Sheva 7th annual Essence Black Women in Hollywood Luncheon in Beverly Hills on February 27th. We can't make this up, family. And they stole the dress that she wore. Lupita Nyong'o's pearl Oscars dress, possibly recovered, made of pearls. The pearl is the pearly gates. That's the gateway. All of this is our divine science, family. This is our divine science.
Yes.
Look what they have in back of her. The triangles. The 3 points. The 3 points. The stone, say the alchemists, as a pearl of great price, is a thing of no account in the eyes of the world, from a human perspective, perceived to be worthless. The profane, 2 thieves, 2 eyes of big lies, say only Hollywood bullshit, without perceiving the revelation of God in the world. and hearts of men. Why are they talking about it in relation to this woman? Such is the
Mm-hmm.
teaching of the Sufi sages, who, unlike their co-religionists, refer to Allah as feminine and write the most absurdly devout and sensual poetry in her honor, Isis or Isis. So this is why they show Isis, the divine feminine, as the most what? Dangerous threat to the simulated matrix. We've gone through this. We've gone through
Mm-hmm.
this before. The four cardinal points of the solar logos. This is all I look, Namur, the submariner. Our ancestors did all this. They know where it comes from. Malkiel, it's a copy.
Mm-mm.
It's a copy. And our ancestors are the ones that transcribed this in popular culture on the walls, Nasi, of temples
Yeah, yeah.
throughout the mythology of all cultures. They wove our narrative. They wove our narrative in there. I'm going to prove to you right now that they knew exactly what the source was. Now, I told you this guy, Dr. McCoy, they call his
Yeah.
nickname was Bones. His nickname was Bones, referring
Yep.
to the ancient, referring to something, family, that was in total decomposition. The divine scientist trapped what? In the physical. And
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
divine science trapped into the physical, what? Inverted and decomposing, reversed and decomposing in
Yeah.
in degeneration. But our
Mm.
ancestors were careful. They were careful to leave us clues. And they wove it through the fabric of our existence, the total fabric of our existence, so that everywhere we looked, when we would what? Awaken. When we would awaken, that we could trace this back and to see ourselves in everything, every aspect. So
Everything. Yes.
they called him Bones, and he was always saying these kind of racist things to Spock and yelling at him. And one of the direct quotes, he said, "I'm trying to thank you, you pointy-eared hobgoblin. I'm trying to thank you, you pointy-eared hobgoblin." Now, we don't know the meaning of hobgoblin, but I'm going to tell you what the meaning of hobgoblin is, and I'm going to show you what a hobgoblin is. And he would always say, "Are you out of your Vulcan mind?" Well, what is a Vulcan? Who is a Vulcan? Now,
Wow.
I'm going to show you something that our ancestors did. All right? I'm going to show you all something that our ancestors did. And they marked an individual that embodies the divine. They just did this a couple of years ago. They marked an individual They just started doing this. They marked an individual.
Oh, the Cavaliers, Lord.
They marked an individual that is divine. He wears the number 23, which is a divine number, like Michael Jordan. And they use the same symbols. And what they started doing, family, was putting a winged foot He's from Akron, the rubber city. Vulcan.
LeBron James.
Y'all don't know our ancestors. Y'all don't know the power. He's from Akron, the rubber city, which used the process of vulcanization to make tires.
Oh, wow.
And they started to put the winged foot on their uniform along with the Nike swoosh. That the Nike represents the divine feminine. The winged foot of Hermes, messenger of the gods. And it also relates to Namor. Look at his feet. I can't pick this up. Look at his feet. Does he have the winged foot?
Oh, you can't make that up.
Can I make that up?
No.
Come on now. They working now. They never stop working.
Yes. Yes.
We're being drawn back, family. Everywhere we look, we're being drawn back into
Eitai.
our divinity. I can't make this up. Here's a man, Nasi, that is when you see something that is superhuman. That means that is a superhuman energy attached to an energy. Here this guy is in his 15th season.
Yeah.
And it was a controversy.
Yeah.
When he didn't win the MVP in his 50. No, we've never seen nothing like this.
Absolutely not, Eitai.
I think Elias was trying to get you on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Eitai.
Hey,
I didn't get to class yesterday, and I just woke up from traveling over here. How can I get to class from yesterday and what you're talking about now? Because I'm struggling to keep up.
Okay, I send it out. It'll all make sense. You have it in your email, Kalaya. I send it out.
I'm on this side now.
Okay, but it's in your email.
In my email?
Yes, it's in your. I sent it out to everybody today.
This morning.
Okay.
All right.
Toda.
Anytime. So they just started putting that on the jerseys, I believe, the beginning of this season or last season, family.
I think it was this season.
It was this season.
Right.
It was this season. So that connects to the Vulcan. The Vulcan, but we're going to see exactly who the Vulcan is. A hobgoblin refers, a hob is an elf. All right. And it is something that causes fear or disquiet. I told you that the only thing that this aberrant man fears is us reconnecting with our divinity. Hob is a clown or a prankster. That is an aspect of a nigger. That is a powerful aspect. Now see, our particular sense of humor. It is rhythmic. It is something that is connected to our soul and our magic. We are the trickster. We are the prankster. We come from left field with everything with everything that we do. From how we wear our pants to how we wear our hat to how we express ourselves. And it means to make mischief. See, we got to stop being so doggone serious all the time
Right.
and learn, family, to play. And
Mm-hmm.
we play better than anyone on this planet.
That's right down my alley.
Don't we
You know
do it?
what? I boy, this puts into mind the twins that I have in class. They're 5 years old, but they're not understood by anybody else. But when they come to me and they want to be by me, especially the older twin, 5, male.
Right.
But he relates better to the females. I have one male and one female counselor in my room, but he comes to me. Oh boy, this is they are pranksters and they're not understood. They have, his brother is not in my room anymore, and he has to be taken to the office frequently. He just makes sounds, loud sounds, like I'm not comfortable here. I'm not.
They don't know how
Oh
to
man, I don't.
we do not fit.
No.
We don't fit
Oh no.
in the compulsory educational system. Now see, all I did was play in class and joke and play tricks on people and still graduated with an AB average.
Wow.
This is our nature. And this is
So
how we it's a method of how we activate the energy by clowning, by
man,
sporting, by making sport.
they got us all uptight, all rigid,
Right.
simulated reality, boy.
That's right. We
Right.
gotta
Yes.
loosen up, y'all. So the goblin is a devil that is mischievous, a mischievous devil. They say an ugly fairy. And it's related to cobalt, to the word cobalt. All right? Watch this.
ADH.
From the medieval Kabbalist. In the Greek, Kobalos. Now, if it sounds like the word Kabbalah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because Kabbalistic thought is very tricky, very devilish, look, they put all this stuff in places where you wouldn't think of putting it. On a television show? Are you kidding me? In a comic book? Means an impudent rogue, listen, or a knave. Kobalai is wicked spirits invoked by rogues. You are the rogues. You are the goblins that invoke those spirits. Not invoke, but evoke. And it's the proper name for the word gobel. And this is a picture of a hobgoblin. Does he look familiar?
Point it is.
The one eye in his forehead. What about his skin? What color is he?
Got that third eye. Got that third eye going.
Look, and this
one of them got red pants on. Red is red. Yeah.
Here's another one. A hobgoblin. Look like the devil, don't he? That's a nigga.
Right.
That's a nigga.
Nigga.
That's a naga. That's a naga. And you see that he is related, hobgoblin books, that they related to the Genesis story with the serpent And oh my
Of the
goodness,
Mm-hmm.
the
feminine.
serpent don't look like a man. He looks like a woman.
Right.
Dang. With the apple. A serpent woman eating it all to herself.
The name, I'm gonna break it down. Kali Katnazaros. Kali Katnazaros. Kali.
Kant. Kantzaros. Kali Kantzaros. Kali
Kali
Kantzaros.
Katnazaros. And that's the word Netzar right there. Right in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
word is Netzar.
Mm-hmm.
And Kali, the dark goddess, feminine energy. Kali Kantzaros.
Kant.
Netzar. The goblin comes primarily from Greek folklore, which emerged after the fall of traditional Greek mythology. It emerged, Nasik, after the fall of the traditional Greek mythology. This was them changing and inverting and causing to decompose and degenerate.
Right,
Y'all see
right.
it. Had been pushed out of the minds of the common people. Who did it?
Mm-hmm.
Not the aberrant man. He wouldn't know enough to do this. This was our ancestors
That's
behind
right.
the scenes.
Ancestors. No doubt. No doubt.
Kali Kantzaros lived primarily very deep underground, under the sea, submariner, in the abyss. In the abyss. Y'all seeing this?
You know,
Mm-hmm.
there was a motion picture made, The Abyss. I wonder what connected me with that so much.
It all connects together.
I know.
And it was about an
It is all.
undersea world too. The ruler
Cain.
of the sea, the waters of noon. This is where it exists. The waters of noon, working
Mm.
to saw through the world tree in hopes that one day it will collapse and bring the earth, the physicality, materialism, the simulated reality, the kingdom of Malkut down with it. However,
Wow.
However, by the time they reach the final part of the tree to saw or eat or consume completely through it, they are stopped by the coming of Christmas.
Mm. Oh, really? What's that mean?
From the dawn of September 25th, that's the birth of Christ, until
Mm-hmm.
January 6th, Kalikanzaros are able to reach the surface of the earth, which causes them to completely forget their task with the world tree. We came here to destroy humanity
Mm-hmm.
and to destroy the false simulated matrix.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot forget why we came here, family, or what. We'll just continue within this feedback loop. Now, see,
Yeah.
emanating in, emanating out, incarnating in, incarnating out. We must remember why it is we came in here in the first place,
Right.
Right.
which
Right.
causes them to completely forget their task with the world tree so that they can rise to the human realm and wreak havoc on the mortal inhabitants by extinguishing fires, sour milk, riding on people's back, and braiding the hair of horses' tails. By the time they return to their task of sawing the world tree, it has healed itself and they must start all over again. That is our ancestors warning us. Never forget. Completely recover your memory.
Yeah.
Have total recall. Have total recall. It was only after his death, however, that Nimrod, Nun Mem Resh, appears to have been deified. Then, retrospectively, he was worshipped as the child of the sun, or the Son incarnate. We dealt with the hobgoblin. Now we're going to deal with this Vulcan aspect. In his own lifetime, however, he set up no higher pretensions than being that of Volcan, or Volcan, or priest of Baal. Priest of Baal.
Baal, right.
Now, y'all remember yesterday that we were talking about Beulah, right?
Right.
We were talking about Beulah. I'm getting ready to surprise y'all. We were talking about this scripture verse, and I believe it was, let's see, no.
Isaiah 62.
Okay, yes, that's correct. And I'm going to read it in context here, I believe. Isaiah 62:4. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and the land Beulah, for the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. Shall be married. Let's look at Hephzibah real quick. Hephzibah means my delight is in her. That is the divine feminine that was at once, Nasik, forsaken, concealed, denigrated, and hidden.
Right.
And it's from the word kefetz. Kefetz. Kefetz.
K-Fat.
And kefetz means delight. That
Right.
which one takes delight. And that is melanin, the divine feminine, kundalini energy, Shakti, our divine power, the primary aspect of our divine power. Now, let's look at the word Beulah. This is going to shock y'all. The word Beulah is the word Baal.
Wow.
Beulah
Wow.
is the word Baal.
Wow.
Is the word Baal.
Wow.
And we've had this big
Now that's unbelievable.
We've had this big
Right.
beef.
Yes.
Prophets of Baal, and
Come on,
all
sir.
the teaching
Absolutely.
that this is a primitive root. Baal.
My aunt and my grandmother, Beulah.
And it
I
means
said my aunt and my grandmother were named Beulah.
absolutely. And Baal, Nasi, is the unifying principle. It is the unifying principle. It means to marry, to join together, to rule over,
Eitai.
to possess, and to own, to have dominion over.
Eitai.
Uh-huh.
Now, you got to tell us how you get that, because the most dictionaries by all is like, it's Lord, or the in a negative sense of the house, all about it, like he's
Right.
over. So you right in terms of all you said, but how did the portion where you got about the marriage, where did that come from?
Oh, it says right here. I'm not seeing. I'm looking. You can't see me, but I'm on the online Strong's Concordance,
Yes.
and
Wow.
I just clicked on the word Beulah, and it leads me to H 1166 Baal, and
H 1166.
H 1166 Baal.
Right. Wow.
And the first definition
Unbelievable.
means to marry, to rule over, to possess, to have dominion over. That is you. Then now see, Beulah is feminine. So that is when the divine feminine is what? Married again or joined again to the divine masculine, and is put in its corrected proper position as primary. And what does it say? At that time thou shalt be no more termed forsaken. Neither shall, and forsaken means azav, means apart, left alone, abandoned, forsaken, neglected,
Right.
apostatized, hidden, concealed, separate. Neither shall thy land be any more termed desolate. The word desolate is shemama, shemama. Shem again, which means a desolation or a waste. A desolation, and it's from the word shamam, shamam, which means deserted, desolate. And that's from the word, now this is again Shem, this aspect of Shem or shame.
Right. Right.
And it's from the primitive root shamam, to be desolate, to be appalled, to be stunned or stupefied, to be a horror, to be ravaged. This is what they did to our divinity, family. In what? The integration process. And Isaiah 62 was talking about the time, and which the time is now, that we turn from what? The plague, our concentration now seek on the plague, the flaw, and then invert that to oneg or anag or aneg, which means we become a delight.
Right.
And merge these two separated things together and accomplish the miracle of the one thing. This is what we're doing, family. So this Balkan is the priest of Baal, which we know is the divine feminine, from which another name of the Roman fire god, Vulcan, is evidently derived. Once we know our history, they can't fool us. We can now weave through and unwind this narrative through history, through multiple genres and expressions, multiple cultures, multiple names, and make it what? A holistic unit, a holistic concept, in our minds of our divine essence, our divine being. Everything in the history of Vulcan exactly agrees with Nimrod or Namor or Spock
Wow.
or the devil. Vulcan was the most
Right.
Vulcan was the most ugly and deformed of all gods. We're gonna find out what that means, niggas. Nimrod, all over the world.
Come on.
Listen, Nimrod, all over the world, is represented with the features and complexion of a Negro. NGR. Isn't that what we covered yesterday?
Wow.
Nagar, nigger.
Absolutely.
The nigger. That's what makes him ugly. What was beautiful and a delight in the beginning of the incarnation became what? The most ugly and deformed. Why wouldn't it? Our ancestors, they weren't surprised by this. They knew that that would happen, that we would completely fall in every aspect of our existence. Every aspect of our essence will become denigrated.
Yeah, they had to know it.
But we
to
cannot.
lay this out the way they did.
That's right. Though Vulcan was so ugly that when he sought a wife, all of the beautiful goddesses rejected him with horror. Yet destiny, look at this. Who controls your destiny? Who rules over your destiny? Who is married to your destiny? You are.
Mm-hmm.
The irrevocable interposed and pronounced the decree by which Venus, the bright and morning star, that is Lucifer, that is Hallel, the most beautiful of the goddesses, was united to the most unsightly of gods. Two opposites, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast 666. Beauty and the Beast 666. 6 carbon.
Oh, wow.
Carbon 12. 6 carbons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, carbon 12. 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. So in spite of the black and Cushite features of Nimrod, he had for his queen Semiramis, the most beautiful woman. The wife of Vulcan was noted for her infidelities and licentiousness. She was a big old freak. The girl's a big old freak. She's a freak.
Oh, Lord. Freak of the week. Oh, Lord have mercy. Woo.
We gotta get loose from all this morality. We won't do
Absolutely.
this.
Come on, Eitai. Yes. Real talk.
You know what occurred to me, nigga, you using that. That's why the hip hop, I guess, generation, they still using it just like that. And they spell it that way.
They brought it back to the original meaning.
Right.
They are,
nigga.
Despite what you say, despite what your morality teaches you, despite what your attention or your opinion is, the ancestors are using them and using that music, using that vibrational form to aid in our ascension.
Now, Eitai, you know what that does? What that does, I don't know, most of the family probably have listened at one time or another to Young Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Now, Young Pharaoh makes sense now. But I stated that early on. That was done to throw most people off, but those that was open in pursuit of this high consciousness, the inner self, the ancestors, they could deal with the Young Pharaoh.
Yeah, the niggas, only niggas can hear this. Only
Right,
That's
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the aberrant man can't use it because they're using it wrong.
that's why
Yes, yes.
they wanted to outlaw
That,
it from the beginning, but they could
that's
not
why the
stop. They
comedians
can't
tell them they
stop
can't.
music. These the after the Emancipation Proclamation, these music forms, and even during that time, but these music forms began to spread worldwide. Starting with what's called folk or country music that we originated, then the blues,
Mm-hmm.
then jazz, then
Yes.
the spoken word. This
Mm-hmm.
is a language, a language.
Mm-hmm.
The spoken word and poetry. We've always been able to rhyme. That is an
Oh wait.
that is an element of our language. No one can speak it like we can. No one family can curse like we can.
Right.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they during they made the language and that sort of language profane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is ours. Whatever we invented was good,
Yes.
and it was beneficial to our rise. All right.
So the simulated reality would have to just be completely the opposite.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay, we're going to end on a flourish, y'all. And we're going to end where we began. In the Greco-Roman tradition of prima materia, now we know the first material, prima materia, is melanin, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Notably including 5th and 6th century Orphic cosmogony, was merged with the big biblical notions of Tehum. Tehum is the word that they use for the abyss
Right.
or chaos in the Christian belief and inherited by alchemy and Renaissance magic. The cosmic egg of Orphism. Now, we talked about the cosmic egg, right? With the serpent
Yes.
wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
That all of this is
Mm-hmm.
taking place in our skull first, within our skull, between our temples, was taken as the raw material for the alchemical magnum opus. That's why we came here. Magnum opus means the great work. Now, see, we came here to be engaged with and to complete the great work. That is what? Repairing the flaw, purifying,
Yes.
putrefying, causing to decompose completely. In Greek alchemy, the first stage of the process producing the lapis philosophorum or philosopher's stone or stone of the philosophers, that is Negredo, was identified with chaos. Now, when we talk about chaos, we don't mean anarchy or total disorder. We mean something that is in its pure and unadulterated form before it
Mm-hmm.
has form. Void,
Mm-hmm.
void, Nasik, of meaning, because they defined everything, predefined, prearranged. For what? The
Right.
fall. So we got to go back to chaos, where we began to define on our own terms. The philosopher's
Absolutely.
stone was the central symbol of the mystical terminology of alchemy, symbolizing perfection at its finest, enlightenment, and heavenly bliss. The legend of the stone was also compared to the biblical history of the Temple of Solomon, the cosmic egg of Orphism, the Temple of Solomon. That's just your body, your skull from head to toe, and the rejected cornerstone described in Psalms 18. Because of the association with the creation in Genesis, where, quote, the Spirit of God moved on the face of the waters. We're going to bring Namor back into it. And chaos was further identified with the element of water. The sun has always been seen as the provider of light, but it is actually the water and melanin and melanins in the atmosphere which create the energies we see as light and feel as heat. The sun and space and the universe are replications of the microcosm in us and all things on a cellular level. So the sun would be a large, dark melanin molecule in an organic universe. The spaces in and between the sun, planets, stars, and in and between all living things on an Earth-like planet would be composed of melanin, dark matter, dark energy, and water, since both are receivers, storers, converters, and emitters of all energies. Isaiah 25. If you have your Bibles, we're going to go Isaiah 25. I'm going to read from verse 7 to verse 10, and then we're going to finish this out and begin to close out this portion. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people, and the veil that was spread over all nations. This teaching is going to do that to us, hopefully, on this call, that the veil has been removed. The veil has been.
Absolutely.
He will swallow up death in victory, and the Lord will wipe away all tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from all the earth. That's the removal of the flaw. For the Lord hath spoken it. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is the Lord. We have waited for him, and we will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of the Lord rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill. And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spread forth his hands to swim. I know y'all don't see that. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. And the fortress of the high fort of thy walls shall he bring down, lay low, and bring to the ground, even to the dust, even to the dust. Before Marvel comic books told us about this, and during the time that they were putting forth this, our ancestors were putting forth this at the same time, rather, or about the same time, they were putting this forth in comic books and putting this forth in television and moving pictures. George Clinton did it best. Psycho, Alpha, Disco, Beta, Bia, Aqua Doodaloos. A motion picture underwater starring most of you loops. And they got it. Look, the Westerner riding on top of the water with his boombox, his cowboy hat on, his chaps, Aqua Boogie. The motion pictures underwater starring most of Ulus. Aqua boogie baby, never learned to swim. Underwater boogie baby, can't catch the rhythm of the stroke. What do they say about most black people? That we can't swim for nothing.
Right.
Oh well.
Aqua,
I,
why should I hold my breath, feeling that I might choke? The things you blow through because of things you swim through. Why hold your nose to spite your face? With the rhythm that makes you dance to what we have to live through, you can dance underwater and what? Not get wet. We are the ones that are going to spread forth our hands in the midst of them, as one that swimmeth, spreadeth forth his hands to swim. We are now. We are the star children.
what?
And as we go
I
forward,
had wow.
we're going to show you.
Mm.
Remember, Cali Canzaros. That word Cali. Cali. We're going to follow that. And we're going to talk about
California.
Calibos, the son of Thetis, patron goddess of the sea. All of this is woven
Mm-hmm.
through the fabric of the mythologies and the sacred knowledge of all cultures. It speaks of us in our different aspects. Vulcans, the Cyclops. Shakespeare
So it's all about us.
wrote about Othello. And what about Othello's wife?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told her she was a big old freak. The girl's a big old freak. She's a freak of the week. Isn't that what the story was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't understand who he was and didn't understand who she was. And he killed her. He killed her. We're going to explore this submariner theme or submariner theme. Mora. We were the princes. We were the princes, the kings of the sea, the Moors, the blackamoors, who taught the Europeans how to sail and sub-navigate and to navigate this planet.
Mm-hmm.
We were the ancient kings of the water.
I said, send it up here. Put it in a plate.
We rode the waves. We walked on the water
Yes.
all over this planet. Oh, by the way, Namor was supposed to be the prince of Atlantis.
Rest of it, right.
Now, let me ask you all a question. The city Atlanta in Georgia was named after the city Atlantis, correct?
Okay.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Majority black people there. Is that Chocolate City?
That's the new
Absolutely.
chocolate
No
city.
doubt. Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff.
And now they got a mayor, female.
That's correct. That's correct. Bad sister too. And all of this stuff, once we know our true history and our true identity, our true id entity, our true essence, our true
I
essence,
do.
we know it's right in front of our faces. It's been there all the
Cut
time.
up.
Now, see, we've been in a deep sleep. We could not see,
Deeply.
and we could not reconnect totally with it. What we want to do is we want to make a total connection. but we
Right.
cannot be superstitious. We cannot be
Right.
moralistic about this. We can't be
Right.
scary.
Right.
We want all of our identity back. All of our identity.
Yeah.
Amen.
And our
Mhm.
ancestors were careful that not one aspect of it was lost. It was just hidden. It was just hidden. And it was buried. And it was concealed under a veneer of evil, under a veneer of Satanism, under a veneer of
Mhm.
demonology, under a veneer
Yeah.
of everything that is evil.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Once we transition, family, from logic and the language of logic and the symbols of logic, once we transition from logic to our divine mental faculties, from human logic and thought and perception to our divine mental faculties, all of these things will come back to us. And we will know exactly who, now see, we are evolving into, we are returning to as it relates to our divinity.
Right. Right.
So we've shown you
Right.
the inversion process, reversal process yesterday, which is a divine process relative to the word nigger, nega,
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
trace that throughout history. Now we look at this term word, which represents the language, the thought, uh, divine thought, divine mental faculties doing what? Degenerating, denigrating into the physical realms and completely falling as we fail into humanity, into human thought, into human perception. So, with that, I'm going to end here. Why should I hold my All right, family, wholeness.